Alright everyone, so this is going to be the first Pro Evo demo on next gen consoles. They didn't do FIFA 14 on PS4 or Xbox One. It massively fell off, PES did in general after the PS2 days. It really did peak around PES 2005 or 2006. FIFA really has dominated over PS3 and Xbox 360, so I'm hoping PES can provide a bit more competition because it has been a good game in the past. FIFA has obviously been dominant, but I think this game has got potential. So firstly, the presentation, I think it's pretty average. I don't think there's anything that stands out for a next gen game. I mean, you know how to navigate everything, so in that sense it's quite simple, and that's what some people will want. But graphics wise, you can tell they've put a lot of effort into something like player faces. I mean, I can zoom up some of the player faces, you can tell that they're really detailed. For example, Xabi Alonso or Vidal. Some of them do look a little bit scary, like Jordi Alba looks like some sort of anime character, but it definitely does make the game a lot more presentable when players do actually look realistic. One thing I noticed as well when I got into the demo was there was no commentary. I mean, obviously in the full game there would be commentary, but it does sort of take away a bit from the atmosphere because the crowd noise, it's just a noise. It doesn't really, it's no singing, no chanting, it's just a noise of people and it's pretty random. And added to that, the fact that there's no commentary, it makes it a sort of strange atmosphere. You don't really feel like you're in the game. I mean, that's just because it's a demo, of course, but it does sort of take away a little bit from the experience that you should be able to feel in the game. Passing feels good, but it just looks weird. At times it looks like a bowling ball going down an alley. It looks too straight and too central on the ground. The ball almost looks like it's stuck in the grass at times, and it's a little bit too easy, I think. I didn't really have any struggle passing the ball from player to player at a lot of speed. It felt like a bit too much like ping pong, and that was a problem in FIFA Online for a lot of years, and it still is to an extent, so I think that's going to be something that wouldn't really work out in the full game. I felt like there wasn't much challenge in making really good long passes. On the other hand, I was a lot more impressed with through balls and lob through balls. They felt like they actually took some skill and you had to get the timing right instead of just doing it anytime at all, like on FIFA where it just finds your player perfectly. It felt more rewarding, a lot more rewarding when you pulled off a good through ball or a lob through ball. On the contrary to that though, the AI, the computer, they never really attempted a lob through ball, I don't think. I've played quite a lot of games, over 15 games, yet I don't think I had a single lob through ball come against me. They did some ground through balls, but that was something they didn't do in the slightest, which was obviously not very realistic. I also noticed a couple of times as well, the computer players would open their legs to get megged. Like, the ball would be coming towards them, then they'd open their legs so the ball would go through their legs. It made no sense. The strongest point of the entire demo for me was the computer individuality. Players actually played like they do in real life. For example, Ronaldo ran like Ronaldo does, Suarez ran like he did with that weird like hunchback typed run he does, and Pirlo sprayed passes out, you know, as he does in real life, and that was a big key. I mean, when you're playing against a computer a lot, it can be very repetitive, so you do need these players and these teams to play as they do in real life, and that makes it a lot more different. It changes how you approach the game, and it just adds a lot more fun to the game. And FIFA, the teams play very similar overall. There's a few players who have certain traits, but in general it's all exactly identical. Now on the opposite side to that, probably my worst point of the game or the demo was shooting. Just shooting and scoring in general, it felt the same. It didn't feel like it was actually a good goal. I scored a few decent long range goals, but they just looked shit. They just looked really shit, and I don't know if that was because of the goal nets. That was one of the things I thought at first, or whether the keepers just didn't look like they were trying to save it properly. I don't know what it was. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but shooting didn't feel that good, and I felt I couldn't really control my shots that much either. There was times where I'd aim it at the far post, but it'd go the opposite side, and it didn't feel like there was much variety in the shots you could make. It's probably more of a case of me not knowing the game that well in order to get those different types of shots away, but scoring didn't feel that good. Celebrations felt much better. I think on FIFA, the customized celebrations, the one you do yourself, that's good, but on PES, the fact that they have those cutscenes, they do look better. It's just as simple as that. They look much more in time, and the players don't look like they're having small seizures in the game like they do on FIFA. So shooting was shit, celebrations good, was my analysis for that part. A few other smaller things to add as well. The animations on collisions did look really good. The players fell over in a really realistic way. Also, as the game progressed as well, players actually got fatigued, so you had to sub them. There is a problem sometimes on FIFA Online where you can just run and not ever have players getting out of breath. But on this, I noticed players did get out of breath and you did have to sub them, so that was good. On set pieces as well, I noticed there was an aimer for corners and free kicks. You could either aim it straight or aim it with a curve, and the aimer showed you how to do that. I felt that was a little bit arcadey, and I felt that was something that didn't really need to be there. You should be able to control the aim and the position with the analog stick and not having an aimer there which has dots on it. It looked a little bit like it was something from the PS2. Not anything that needs to be on a game of 2014, so I thought that was something they should get rid of. Overall though, I was pretty impressed. Better than recent PES on PS3 and Xbox. It's not something I'll probably buy straight away. I might get it in the future. If scoring was improved and if shooting felt much better, if it wasn't like a rocket launcher into the corner, I would probably rate it a lot higher. That was one of the main downsides to me, and I think on a game where shooting and scoring is probably the best part about a football game, I think it's definitely something that the developers should prioritise over everything else. Obviously it's a football game, so when you score a goal, that's the main purpose of the game, and it should look and feel like an actual good goal, but it didn't feel like that at all to me, and that took the game down a level for me. I was impressed with the little details like collisions and player faces on replays. Stuff like that made the game that little bit better to play. I think though FIFA 15 demo has had a lot of good press for once, and that's going to be a hard game to match. I'm not saying that PES is miles away, but it's going to take something special I think. FIFA is definitely more polished this time around, but even so, both are good football games, both are fun to play, so I wouldn't discourage you from trying to buy either game. Both have their merits. I think FIFA's obviously way ahead in terms of advertising and marketing in general, but both games are great. Remember, of course, this is only a demo, there's a long way to go yet, but PES has impressed me. I think it's a good game, and it's going to push FIFA a little bit more than it has done in previous years. So maybe PES is back. Guess we'll just have to wait and see.